All right, hello and welcome to today's WeCrest webinar, Getting Started with WeCrest. I'm your host, Pascal Mongo, and I'm a co-founder and partner and CMO at WeCrest. So in today's webinar, we're going to cover a few topics. First of all, what is WeCrest and for whom is WeCrest made for? So if you're a trademark attorney, then you are in the right spot. Then we will have a deep dive on the most important WeCrest features and how you can use WeCrest to achieve your business goals in your trademark firm. And then in the end, we will have a Q&A, so where you can ask your questions and then I will answer. Of course, you can already submit your questions during the webinar. That's no problem. You can use the Q&A function. So in order to access it, you have to click on Q&A on the bottom in the controls of Google Meet. All right, then let's start. So what is WeCrest? WeCrest is a trademark business development tool for trademark attorneys in the Madrid system. So if you're an attorney based in the Madrid system, then you can use WeCrest to acquire new clients and more trademark refusal cases for your firm. So how does it work? Well, WeCrest has two main components. We provide the trademark refusal data side, and we combine this with an email tool on the other side. So data, refusal data, combined with email. That's where the whole value proposition of WeCrest lays, and this is how you can acquire new clients and cases. So let's jump into it. I will share my screen now with you. So please let me know if you can see it. Right, so you should see now my screen. Okay, perfect. So what you're now seeing is the Madrid notifier, which is the highlight feature of WeCrest. But let's start with an overview of all features. So when you log into your WeCrest account, the dashboard is what you see first. So you will see how many refusals are there in your jurisdiction, how many refusals have been there this month, how many emails you have sent, and how many emails you have sent per available cases in your jurisdiction. So this is the send rate. Then all your contacts in your database, but I will explain what that is in a moment. So again, WeCrest captures every provisional trademark refusal in the Madrid system. So let's assume that I am a trademark attorney based in the US, the United States of America, and I would like to acquire now new clients for my law firm. So now I can look at all the trademark refusal cases in the US during the past 7 days. So we have here 124 cases. And now you see every row represents one refusal case. So we have here Wolf and Wolf from Germany. That's the representative of this trademark application. Then we have the holder, Fiesmann Climate, also from Germany, the IR number, and the refusal notice. So this is a PDF. I can also click on it and open it. So this is now the PDF from the USPTO that contains all the refusal details. And of course, here you can see the trademark can be a word mark or a device mark. And here you see the inscription date. So this is the date when the case has been inscribed on the WIPO database. And the uploaded date represents the date when the case has been uploaded to your WeCrest account. So our data is updated daily. So every day you get the latest refusal cases, and there's always a 2-day delay between the inscription on the WIPO database and the appearance in your WeCrest account. I am now using the WeCrest Premium account, so that's why all the cases are already unlocked. If you are using a WeCrest Free account, then you have to unlock the cases by clicking the lock symbol. And then all the case details will be revealed. You get new unlocks, or as we call them, credits, every week. So every week you can unlock new cases for free. If you wish to have unlimited access for all the cases in your jurisdiction, then please contact us at members@WeCrest.com, and then we can upgrade your account and yeah, make you a premium member. So, but for today, we're going to look at the premium view because it has all the features. Okay, so back to our case. So now we would like to introduce ourselves to Wolf and Wolf, right? In order to acquire this case from them. So what you can now do, you can write them an email. And now I want to use the email template, new clients. Okay, so click Save Changes. And now I can preview the email to see how it would look like when I would send it to that representative. And of course, we do not provide the email address for this representative, right? So this is not available at the WIPO database. So therefore, you need to find the email addresses yourself. But we have built an email finding tool. So if you see here, the @ is yellow. So this means there are contacts of representative with WeCrest suggestions. So if I now click this, then you see here the entity domain has been identified by our search algorithm. And here you see now email addresses that have been suggested by our algorithm. So let's go with info@Lundgrens. Then I can click add. Now the email address is added to this representative, to this entity. And now the first name, since I don't know their first name, I can write their colleagues. Maybe you know someone at this firm, then you can add their real first name. So now I want to save this contact. And now you will see that the contact is now green. So this means that an email address has been added. And now there's also this this little paper plane. So this means if you click this paper plane, then the email will be sent. So again, let's choose the email template, new clients. We want to preview the email. And then now here you see how the email would look like to Lundgrens. So trademark refusal in the United States of America. Dear colleagues, I hope this email finds you well. At WeCrest, we're actively finding trademarks for our clients in the US, including your country. Therefore, we're always looking for partnerships. We noticed that your client has recently received a provisional refusal, and now it's time to respond to this refusal. Of course, there's a deadline. So the deadline, of course, will be different in every jurisdiction. So in your jurisdiction, maybe the deadline is not 60 days, maybe it is shorter or longer. And then you can continue to say something about your firm. Maybe it is your mission to help and secure and protect IP rights in your jurisdiction. And now this is important. Now the call to action. Would you like to receive our initial comments free of charge? And then you can, of course, add your email signature. So the email will look like as if you have sent it from your regular email account. So you can use your own email signature, of course, and also your own email address. How to set this up, I will show you in a moment. So yes, now you can use this email to introduce your firm to new clients outside of your country, right? So this is a very powerful tool. And as you can see here, all the placeholders are being used in your email template. So you do not need to copy and paste back and forth anything. So this is all done automatically. And here you see the refusal notice is already attached, right? So this shows the recipient of your email that you have all the details on the case and that you could start working on it immediately. Okay, so this was one use case. So however, let's imagine that you already know them and maybe you have already worked with them in the past. Then you can also choose a different email template. Maybe not new clients, maybe you want to choose current clients, right? So now you see here the email template has changed. Now it says our firms have been working together for a few years now, and we appreciate our cooperation. We notice that your client, so again, here you see these are the placeholders in your email template, and they will be populated automatically by WeCrest. And now you're basically asking them to, that you can take care of that case, and that you would like to receive confirmation via email that you will look into that case and provide your comments and a cost estimate. So this is a very nice way to get more cases from your existing clients. And then, of course, these are just 2 use cases, right? But you can think of many, many more strategies and use cases. Another strategy that we came up with is something that we call reciprocity. So if I click now reciprocity, then what we are now doing, we're sending an email to a representative that also has a refusal in your jurisdiction, right? So for example, now in this example, our client Tree Trunks received a provisional refusal in the US. Now we're looking for an IP. Sorry, not in the US. That would be, for example, let's say China, another jurisdiction. Now we're looking for an IP agent to help us respond to the IP office. Is your firm available to handle this provisional refusal case? If so, we're looking forward to receiving your initial comments and a cost estimate. Furthermore, so now you can basically hint that they also have a refusal in your jurisdiction, right? So you can exchange the case on the spot. Furthermore, we notice that your client just received a provisional refusal in the US. We will be glad to provide you with our services for this particular case in return. So, of course, this is just an illustrative example. This email is maybe a bit too straightforward and too frank, but this is just to show you how this could work, right? And of course, you can change your email templates to your own style. All right, so these were 2 use cases that we looked at. 3 use cases. You can send emails to new clients to introduce your firm. You can send emails to existing clients to get more cases from them. And you can use also the Madrid notifier for reciprocity, of course, to exchange cases on the spot. All right, let's look at one more use case. Let's say that you want to acquire more local clients in your jurisdiction. So again, let's imagine that you are a trademark attorney in the US. And now we want to look at holders, right? So these are companies, trademark holders, with refusals outside of the US, and they have not used a US representative to file the trademark application. Okay, so now I start the search by viewing the cases. Now we see here 71 cases where a US holder has received a provisional refusal in another jurisdiction outside of the US, right? And there's no representative. So now I could get in touch with this company and tell them, hey, SOC Prime, I noticed that you filed a trademark application to the European Union, and now it has been refused. And by law, you will need a European trademark attorney to appeal to this refusal in the European Union. Would you like me to take care of this refusal case for you in the European Union? Because I have a big network of contacts in the European Union, and I know a great IP attorney who could help you with this. So this is another use case, right? So you can switch here between inbound and outbound in your WeCrest account. So inbound means applications coming to your jurisdiction. Outbound means trademark applications going out of your jurisdiction, right? So this is the difference, inbound and outbound. Okay, fantastic. So now we've covered the most important features of the Madrid notifier. Of course, there are also additional features that I will not explain in great detail, but just to give you an idea. So again, let's select the US as my jurisdiction. And if I now see, for example, a representative that I particularly like or find particularly interesting, then I can also star the representative. So if I now star this representative, then when they have another refusal case in the US, then I can identify them more quickly by this star, right? So this will help you to set a focus on particular representatives. Of course, you can also star holders, or you can also star cases. So for example, if this is a particular case that you would like to observe, so maybe there will be another office action being issued for this trademark, for this IR number, then you can also identify these cases more quickly. And then there are here a bunch of other filter options. So for example, if you only want to look at representatives in a certain country, then you can change the country here. Or if you want to search for a particular representative and see how they are doing, then you can also do that. So I'm just going to do this now for Chauvin, for example. See how many cases did Chauvin had in the US, right? So now you see here, Chauvin, this is all the same IP firm. Click confirm. And now I want to see the view cases. And now I see, okay, Chauvin had 7 cases in the past month in the US. So you see here now, the representative is always Chauvin, 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 right? So this is how the search function works. Okay, if you have any questions about the Madrid notifier, please submit them in the Q&A, and then they will be covered at the end of this webinar. Okay, let's jump to the filer rankings tool. So the filer rankings tool allows you to generate a ranking of IP firms that have many refusals in your jurisdiction. So that's how the ranking works. So what would be the use case for that? Well, imagine you are going to attend INTA and you want to set up some meetings there. Well, then you can generate the ranking. And now we see here the top 100 IP firms with the most trademark refusals in the US during the past year. So now we see here Jacobacci and Partners on the top, AWA Sweden on the second rank, Gavers on a third rank, and so on. So now you can simply go through the list and look at the attendee list at the same time into INTA or AAPPI, or conference of your choice, and then double check who is attending, if there's a representative attending this conference, and you can schedule a meeting with them. And you can do that also through your WeCrest account. So now, for example, stops, I can now click on edit email to choose the email template that I would like to use. So for example, I want the meeting request email template. And then here's an example from one IP professional to another. I sent you warm greetings from then the US, right? Whatever country you're in. At my IP firm, we're actively finding trademarks for our clients worldwide, including the UK, right? Because Stops is from the UK. So that's why you're looking to build reciprocal partnerships. And you wanted to take this opportunity to ask if they were interested in a meeting. So that could be, of course, if you're not attending INTA, then it could also be an online call, right? But you could also create maybe an INTA email template where you can send out these email invitations directly through your WeCrest account. And then furthermore, you can also use a tool like Calendly, where you can then put a link in your email template, and then it will look something like this. So actually, I have a Calendly page for my IIPPI meetings. So now people who are clicking on this link, they can now schedule a meeting time, and this is linked to my Google Calendar. So whenever I am not available, these meeting slots will actually not be shown. So this saves you a lot of time when scheduling meetings. So I definitely recommend using that for your IP conferences, or also have just an always on Calendly page for any online video calls that you want to schedule going forward. Okay, so this was one use case. Let me show you another use case. let's say that you have any IP work in another jurisdiction. So this is again the reciprocity idea, but this time it is long term. So let's say you receive a provisional refusal in South Korea and you are based in the US. Then you can say our client so-and-so received provisional refusal in South Korea. Now we're looking for an IP agent. And is your firm available to handle this case? We notice that you firms also frequently receiving provisional refusals from the US. We will be glad to provide you with our services in the US in return, right? So this is again very, very frank, and it is only to illustrate how this strategy works. Of course, you have to choose your words more carefully, right? All right, so that is the filer rankings email tool. Of course, now there are also additional features. So let's say you want to export this list, then you can click here, download Excel to download this whole list to Excel or as a PDF. And you can also download it without the email history, right? So if we send out an email, then it will say here when the last contact date was, and also how many emails you have already sent to this representative. This is also displayed here in your WeCrest account. If you want to only download the details of a representative for a specific representative, you can here tick the boxes and then click Download Excel. Or you can also star them, and then whenever they receive a provisional refusal, recently, then you will see them in the Madrid notifier as well, right? Okay, so let's imagine that you're traveling to Singapore, right? So INTA 2023 will happen in Singapore. So now I want to, and let's say you want to have some office visits after your INTA conference is over. So now we can also select Singapore as the country of origin, right? And now we want to see all the Singaporean IP firms with the most refusals in the US. And now we see here Drew Napier from Singapore, RHT Assets in Singapore, and so on. So here you see country is now only Singapore. Previously, it was mixed, right? Because it was worldwide. So now you can schedule office visits with these firms. So wherever you go, you can meet the clients with the cases. You could even specify the city. So in case of Singapore, that's a city-state, so there it doesn't make sense. But if you, for example, go to, let's say, you go to Beijing, for example, right, China, then you can also put in here Beijing and only see the ranking for the Beijing-based IP firms. Okay, one more use case. So let's say you find this representative interesting and you want to learn more about this representative, then you can click on the name, and now it will open up the Madrid notifier for you. And it will now pull up all the recent refusal cases for that particular representative in your jurisdictions. So now you see here all these search parameters have been entered automatically. And now we see here 20 cases for the past year, right? And that is exactly the number that you see here, 20 cases for the past year. So now you see here representative is now only Drew and Napier, and then you see, oh, great, they had a case just recently. So then you could also contact them regarding that specific case. So that is also a very useful feature. All right, if you have any questions about the filer rankings, please submit them in the Q&A function. All right, let's jump to the other features real quick. So we already looked at the Madrid, we already had a look at the dashboard, the Madrid notifier, filer rankings, and now general statistics. So general statistics just gives you the refusal counts for all the Madrid jurisdictions, right? So if we look at the data of the past year, now we see here the list of all the Madrid trademark jurisdictions. And then we see here the number of refusals for that period. So in that case, for the past year, right? So for example, Australia had 6,097 provisional refusal cases in the past year. And then here you see then various averages, daily, weekly, monthly. So this gives you an idea of the refusal volume in your jurisdiction and the business opportunities that are there for you, right? Because as you know, every provisional refusal represents a business opportunity for your IP firm. As by law, they are required, there's a required a local IP firm to appeal to the refusal. That's the general statistics tool. Country rankings. Country rankings is showing you where the representatives are based from for most of the refusals. So let's say I want to see the top 10 countries in the whole world where most of the refusals are coming from. And then we see here, now for the US, again, I am a US attorney today. Now we see here the top 10. So number 1 is Germany with 2,819 cases, the UK over 2,000, and so on. Of course, these numbers are very aggregated, and I would always recommend to check out the filer rankings, because there you can see the volumes for individual IP firms, because it might change, right? Not every German firm has a lot of cases, of course, in your jurisdiction, or in the US in that case. Okay, and then specific search. So here you can also just search for a representative and see their refusal volume over time. So I'm just going to do this real quick for Schofin one more time. So Schofin, we want to see how the refusal volume is going through. Okay, and then now let's select the US again. All right, view statistics. So now for the US, we see here Schofin had in total 72 refusals in the past year. Right, 72, and now we see here when these refusals happened, right? So you have like a nice time representation. That's the specific search. Okay, so now let's have a look at the contacts. So if you recall, at the Madrid notifier, you could here manage your contacts, right, for specific representatives, right? So there are 2 ways in order. So here you can manage all your contacts, right, at contacts. So you can see here now by hitting the search button, all the entities that you have added to your contacts database. And now you can make changes. For example, you can add first names, you can add last names, titles, position, and so on, right? And if you want to import some of your contacts, so imagine you have a CRM that you're using maybe in your firm, or an IP management system, or any kind of contacts database with email addresses and first names and so on, then you can import them to your WeCrest account so that you don't have to search for them yourself, right? So you can click to import email addresses, and then click the red button, import email addresses. And now here you can download an example CSV file, and then you just copy your email database into that CSV file, and then you can upload it here, right? Just drag it here, and then it will. And you also, of course, we will not sell your data, or this is only your data. We do not share it with anyone else. So that is very clear. So don't worry about that. So then you can import your email addresses. And now, if there is a refusal, then, and there's no, do you see here that it's red, right? So there's no contact saved. So now you see here imported email addresses, and then you could just search for Wolf and Wolf, for example, and then you could add the email address. So I have only imported 2 email addresses. So in that case, these are the 2 that are showing up here. So if I now click add, then you see here all this data will be added from the data that I have imported previously via the CSV file. All right, so that was imported email addresses. If you have any questions about importing email addresses, please put them into the Q&A. Okay, of course, if you receive, for example, an email from someone who says, hey, thank you so much for notifying me about this refusal, but I do not wish to receive your emails anymore, no problem. You can then just click here, you see send, you can just add this toggle, and then now you won't send any emails to them anymore in the future. Okay, and then last but not least, the sending analytics allow you to see your statistics for your emails that you've been sent, how many emails you have sent, how many emails have been opened and clicked, and so on. If you have more questions about that, then you can, of course, also send us an email. I will not go into details for this one. All right, so then the next steps for you to start using your WeCrest account to its full extent are two things. Number one, you have to add your sender email address, right? So the email address from which you want to send out emails, and you have to write your email templates. So these are the two to-dos. You can go here on the top on your username, and then you go to settings, and then now you see here the settings page appears. And now you can scroll to email templates, and now you can here create new email templates. You have here the editor. So we recommend for the best, the easiest way to edit your email templates is to write them in Microsoft Word and then simply copy and paste it into this editor window here. And then you can save it, and then you can just add a title here to your email template that you can recognize. As you can put here a subject line, and of course you can also make use of all the placeholders, right? So here are all the placeholders that you can use in your email templates, and of course also your subject lines. There's just one thing: the trademark cannot be used in the email subject line. Why? Because the trademark can be a picture, right? A JPEG image if it's a device mark, and therefore it can of course not go into the subject line. Okay, so I think that the email template is the most important thing that you should focus on. First, think of the different strategies you want to use. For example, do you want to use WeCrest to approach your local clients in your home country? Well, then, of course, you would need an email template in your local language, for example. And if you want to use WeCrest to follow up with people after meetings, then you want to create a new email template, which is maybe called meeting follow-up, right? So you want to follow up after a meeting regarding a specific provisional refusal. So I think the email templates are the most important part. And the better your email templates, the more responses you will get, of course. And like with every marketing strategy, you have to be very consistent, and you have to send a lot of emails. That is always something that we recommend our members. So our data shows that WeCrest members who send more emails, who have a high send rate, right? So maybe out of 100 refusals, they send 50 emails. Then these members are more likely to receive cases and new clients, and then they are more likely to renew their subscription. So this is how we measure our success for our members, right? Because I often get the question, oh, how many cases can I expect? This is unfortunately data that we don't have, but we use a proxy for that data, and that is the renewal rate. So how many premium members renew their subscription after 1 year, for example. Okay, then here you see subscription details, right? So here you can set a default email template, for example, for the Madrid notifier, right? So for example, new clients or filer rankings. Here, let's say I want meeting request as my default email template. And then now here, that's what I said earlier. So 2 steps to get started: update your sender email address and update your email templates. So here you can change your sender email and your display name. We always recommend to send out emails from a personal email address. So try not to send emails from info@ or office@. So I would always use a personal email address, because this just generates more replies, right? People always like to communicate with a human, right, and not with an office. So that's what our data shows. Okay, so now we have 10 minutes left for the Q&A. I will now jump to the Q&A if there are any questions. So far there are no questions. I guess that's a good sign that everything was explained and covered in this webinar. And I see we have here someone from Trademark Altacid Global. Are there any questions from your side? Okay, so now I see I get one question about the premium features and how to upgrade. So if you would like to upgrade from a free account to a premium account, then please email us at members@WeCrest.com. So I'll put this also in the chat, members@WeCrest.com. So yeah, if you have any questions, any requests, or you would like to upgrade your account, then please send us an email. Okay, so since there are no other questions, and then I think we can recap today's webinar and come to a closing. So today we covered a lot. So you learned what WeCrest is, how you can use it for your business development. We covered different strategies, how you can use your WeCrest account, right? You can email new clients, you can get in touch with your existing clients regarding cases, you can contact holders in your home country who received a refusal abroad, you can follow up after meetings regarding provisional refusals. You can also set up meetings for conferences, right? So I think these were the key use cases and strategies that we covered today. And now for you, what's up next for you to do would be to update your sender email address and then update your email templates. That would be the next steps. And yeah, thank you so much for your time and your attention. If you have any questions, then please send us an email at members@WeCrest.com. Thank you very much, and talk to you soon. Bye.